We're gonna give Jessica Beauchene a few more minutes. If she's not here, then we'll start the meeting. Testing. Yeah, I mean, I think we've given her a fair amount of time now. We'll now call the meeting into order. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. First item.
Deb Rum, can you come forward, please? We'd like to acknowledge that you are the 2025 Rhode Island Mathematics Teacher of the Year.
Deb, on behalf of the school committee, we just want to congratulate you again on the 2025 Rhode Island Mathematics Teachers Association Outstanding Teacher of the Year. Excellent job.
Through the chair.
Yes.
If possible, I just want to share just a brief personal thanks to Mrs. Brunn, who not only is the 2025 Rhode Island Mathematics Teacher of the Year, however, is an outstanding teacher. And I can say this knowingly because of my personal experience with my own children being in her classroom and the difference that she has made on their life. And I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of countless parents. Thank you so much for everything that you do day in and day out for the students of East Providence.
Thank you. Next item.
Policy Committee Report, Visitor Behavior Policy, second read.
I believe the requested changes are highlighted in yellow. If anyone has any questions.
Yeah, through the chair. As you said, changes are highlighted in yellow. I see some of the things that were brought up for myself from other members, talking about just adding in the addition of school buses, the addition of the communication between the principal, consulting with the superintendent to determine consequences. I think those are some of the things that I brought up or was a part of the conversation. Um, I don't necessarily have anything additional to add, but I appreciate those additions in there.
Any other questions with regards to this policy? Hearing none, we will move on. Next item.
Public comments.
Oliver Holmes.
How you doing? I have
Evening.
a question for the superintendent. My question is, what is your policy on getting back to a parent when they have a concern whenever school is going on.
So I respond to all emails and phone calls that I get, and I'm assuming that this is regarding the Hennessy Playground?
No,
No?
not at all.
All right, who's
Well,
it?
it's now day 4, okay, that I have not received a phone call back that an incident happened at the high school on Monday around 10:30, 11 o'clock. I pick up my daughter, I drive out doing the speed limit in the parking lot, and one of your teachers in a pickup truck comes barreling out and nearly misses me. And there's 6 cameras that I took video of, and I did not get a phone call back. I do have big issues with the school department. And now I'm at my wits' end on trying to communicate with you guys, trying to be cordial, trying to be cool. Now it's going to take me that from now on, when something happens, you will have to answer to my attorney because I'm so fed up. Like, my kids have been bullied in every school. I'm tired of it. It's almost to the point that my children are ready to kill themselves because of bulliness. I don't get a phone call back. I don't get nothing from you guys. And you know how frustrating this can be for a parent, especially that I'm a truck driver and I go across the world and I got to hear my children crying on the phone because I don't get no help from the school department.
So you should call my office because I don't have a message from you.
I can tell you for facts on record that I went into the superintendent's office. I'm not naming any names because I'm not going to sit here and put people on the spot. But your secretary took my name, my phone number, and she said that she would deliver to you on a sticky pad. And I still have not got a phone call, and this is day 4.
That's my secretary right there.
So who is Mrs. Messier? I mean, let's just throw it out there. She's the one that took my information down.
So
And I never got no phone calls. Here we are, day 4.
So I'm happy to get back to you. I have your number, I will give you a call tomorrow.
So something like, I mean, I don't know what else to do with you.
I will give you a call tomorrow.
This is your phone number on here? I obviously don't want to say it out loud, but this is the number.
That's my
the best.
personal cell phone
Okay.
number. Yeah.
Yep. Just a question. When you say you were almost struck, were you in your vehicle?
I was driving my
okay.
vehicle.
Okay.
And I had my wife. I also had my daughter in the vehicle. And you're gonna clearly see if you run this video. I mean, I would like to see the video myself, but you'll clearly see in this video that I gotta jack my brakes up, and you'll see my van hop up in the air.
So
There's no need for a teacher to be barreling ass out of a school.
So I am aware of the incident. I was not told that I needed to call you back, and it was dealt with by the high school administration, and I'm happy to call you back tomorrow and discuss it with you.
But like I said before, I'm all done trying to communicate with everybody. It's now you've put me up against a wall that I'm going to now take legal actions. And my lawyer, anytime something goes wrong with my student, yes, I tell my kids to go to the principal, whoever, and call me immediately, and then my attorney will be calling you guys. And at that rate, my hands are tied with that. However he handles it, it's gonna be handled because something needs to be done. Because it's gonna take you guys to realize that a child offs themselves because they're bullied. Maybe we'll get help eventually here. I feel like this whole school department, you guys are not doing your jobs. Absolutely not. I'm so ready to leave this state of Rhode Island and never return back here. You can't let children continue getting bullied, getting this, getting that. You're going to have problems. And you're going to have parents that I know for a fact that are scared to come down here and say something. Me, I'm not scared to come down here and tell you guys straight to your face what this is all about. However it goes, it goes. But like I said before, you will be hearing from my lawyer. Thank you.
Renee Ignacio.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
So I just have a question. I came in February, March, came with updates for bus patrol, so I'm just here to ask where we are with bus cameras, van cameras, stuff like that. I keep having an issue at Waddington with people passing my reds. Today was, the other day in April, it was the school secretary's daughter that likes to seem to pass through my reds every couple days. I don't need my kids to get hurt. I've agreed with the crossing guard and the principal. We've made accommodations. We agreed to it. I've been doing everything they asked me to do. Everything's good. It's the same car all the time. I just happen to find out who it was. So I want to know where we stand with that.
You have the plate number of the vehicle?
I do. I already gave it to Daisy, who gave it to. She should have handed it in to Diana. I actually have it. We have the plate that we write it down. I can give it to you. I think I still have it in my phone.
Please, this isn't a case where the crossing guard is directing this car to go through, is it? Because I know we had that
No,
issue. This
we've
is,
made the agreement that
okay.
I go back into the parking lot now because
Yeah, I
where
remember
we were
that.
in the beginning, we talked about it, and
Right.
I have my lights on. We let the kids go. I pull up exactly where the principal had asked me to, and she's gone by me twice. So there was a line of cars the other day, and I had my lights on, so I stopped to apologize to the crossing guard for not rushing because there was cars behind me. So, so I just wanted to know where we stand with the cameras and stuff like that. And I know the RFP is up for the buses, so I was just online and I flipped through the 2021. I hope you guys really look at it. There's a lot of things. And the other thing I just wanted to know is where we stood with Steve to come in and talk to the schools with bullying. I don't know if you guys have been into communication. I know he was talking to Sandy and somebody else from the office. He had told me he went in to talk to somebody. So I just wanted to know if
Yeah, so
anything was going on.
so the one thing I can tell you is with regards to the cameras is that is a work in process. You know, we want to get one thing done before we get the other thing done, but that should be on the agenda sometime in May to get that resolved. As far as Steve, I mean, we provided him the platform. That's basically up to the principals if they want to go
Okay.
down that route.
Well, because he asked
And-
me, so I just.
No, and I
wanna
understand
be
that,
able to tell him
absolutely.
what to do next. If he needs to go, I don't know if he needs to go to Sandy or if he needs to go to each school.
He sent a letter to the principals and to myself. He's a paid speaker, so it's up to the principals as to whether or not they want to hire him to come to the school and speak.
Okay, so he doesn't need to go.
No,
Okay.
no, they all have the letter and I got the letter and if, yep. Yeah, no, they're aware of it. They have the letter from him with his fee and with what he can provide.
I did get a copy of that as well, and I'll catch up with you later about what you brought up there with regards to the plate and the vehicle. All right, thank you. Yeah. Did you have it for Renee?
That's okay, just,
She
no,
can come
for Sandy. That video's gonna be saved because I'd like to see that video, and I'd like to see how it was handled. And then second, Sandy.
There's no video on the vans, right? There's no video, there's no camera on the vans to get the license plates that go by. It doesn't pick up, it's inside. Okay, there is no, she has the plate.
No, what I'm saying, in our building, that parking lot
We won't, we can look, but it's in front of the building. No. It's on the street, I think.
And I'm very concerned if there's a camera on our building to catch this, but same with the first parent, and I know that high school, we could see a nail. We could see a nail in somebody's tire at that high school. So if there's a timestamp,
No, I am aware of that situation. I did not realize, because it was sent back to the high school and they dealt with it.
yeah, well, I'd like.
I didn't get the name. I did not get your name or your phone number to call you back. I didn't realize you wanted a phone call from me, but we did refer it back to the high school administration who addressed the issue.
And I'd just like to see so you would be able to get us that video?
Yep.
Okay, thank you,
Anything else, Tony? That's it. All right.
thank you.
Next item.
Discussion action items, discussion on UPSD priority updates shared at the April meeting. Mr. DeSimus. I just had a few questions in regards to the update. Just go through them one by one. When developing the curriculum or adopting programs like SRSD and LETRS and Math Advantage, what strategies were used or planned to differentiate and accommodate for learners with special needs? I don't know.
So Letters is a state program. That's the Right to Read initiative that's required. Lindsay might be able to answer that better than I can. I'm not well versed in how Letters is implemented in the classroom. SRSD is a writing framework, so it's tailored for individual students' needs. So that, again, it's not a program. It basically teaches students how to write with the different steps. So it's a graphic organizer.
Yeah, I just wanted, if I could get more details on how specifically it was what accommodations there would be for, learners with special needs. But that's fine. I also had, can I get more details on the specific professional development opportunities for the special educators and their paras? And are we also going to, the general ed teachers going to receive inclusive instructional training, training on inclusive instruction and accommodations for diverse learners?
So you're at,
Yeah,
So-
so if
all right.
it makes it easier, I can just, how about I?
yeah, if you
I
can
just-
give me the questions, I can,
Yeah.
so the, like in
You
the,
can forward to the appropriate.
yeah, and I can say, like, as far as training for paras, last summer we offered an RBT class, which is a 40-hour class on working with students in the classroom with behavior management strategies. And we had about 25 paraprofessionals come to that 40-hour class. So that's,
Does some of this training extend to general ed teachers too? If I know we're looking at integrating more classrooms.
Yep.
That's one of my concerns.
okay.
And I'll
yeah,
just forward this
all
to
right.
you to make it easier. And then
Yeah,
move
it's
them right along.
hard to answer on the spot.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
And I'm not always that deeply involved in the implementation in the classroom of it.
Right. I'll just copy the committee members as well, so they're
Okay.
questions.
That was going to be my question. Sandy, could you, if he's going to send them to all, could you respond to us all with the answers? Okay, thank you.
Next item.
Consider a vote to approve the visitor behavior policy second read. I'll make a motion to approve the visitor policy.
I'll second it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next item.
Consider a vote to approve the RFP for bus transportation.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
Dr. Ferrand, thank you for giving ample time for the committee to be able to go through the 85-page RFP. Do you think you could just share some top line like changes or comparisons to the last RFP that we should be aware of?
We didn't make a lot of changes to the RFP.
Compared to 2021?
Yeah, it's most of the RFP pretty much remained the same. We did add a third year possibility for an extension because this time we only had 1 year and then a 1 year, so we added a third 1 year into the contract, the RFP. But overall, Diana and Craig went through it and just a lot of date changes and route changes, anything that was updated.
Through the chair, I'm just wondering if I had sent you some concerns that I had. Do we know if those are going to be?
So I thought you'd might like to present them to the committee
Okay,
tonight.
that's fine. One of them was, I had asked if we're going to cap the fuel adjustment. Most contracts that I've looked at cap it at 10%. I was just wondering, or they do a shared model, they split the difference. So I was wondering if we could, have that language put into the contract. I was also wondering what CPI index we're going to use and what month will determine the COLA. I noticed that in the RFP, the contract will be one of the determining factors is whoever has the lowest bid in the first year. So I had asked if we could do look at the 3-year average instead. Um, the performance bonding is optional. I was wondering why that was. I was also wondering if we could add a wage floor for the drivers, maybe what minimum wage is. I'm wondering who owns the GPS data and video data, and if we can add the FERPA compliance clause in there as well. I don't have copies, but I can send that to you. I'll send it as well.
I will say the drivers are unionized, so that they're
Okay,
quite a bit above minimum wage, and they are part of a union.
perfect.
So that one, I'll still add it if you want.
No, that's fine.
And then the fuel was the other one. We actually, we could still put this in. Our buses are all propane. We don't use diesel.
Okay,
So,
I was not aware.
yeah.
And the only other comment I had was, I noticed that last RFP was about the same number of pages, maybe a few pages less, but the contract was only 4 pages long, including the signature page. So is most of what is in the RFP not in the contract then? Is that typical?
So I was not the one that
I know.
did the contract, so I really can't speak to that. But we'll make sure that whoever gets the contract, that Andrew goes through the contract and
Knowing that
make
we
sure that,
enforce
right,
whatever
what's
we're
in the
asking.
RFP.
Please.
So yeah, we can make sure that that's happened, but I wasn't a part of that
No,
contract.
I know. None of us were.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
a few of us. Thank you.
Sandy, I just have a question with that, because I kind of on the same page with Tony, kind of like when we do our construction RFPs, what's basically in the RFP, if they agree to do that for X amount of dollars, that just rolls over into the contract. So I'm just wondering, in other words, if where we're at 85 pages, I'm thinking Andrew would go through that as the 85 pages. Who's going to create the contract, and when would we be able to see the contract?
I think once we award it, we go out for the RFP, we get the proposals back, we decide which company that we're going with, and then we would create the contract from there. And that would be with our legal team.
All right, so
And it would reflect what's in the RFP.
okay, that's what I'm saying. So
I
like,
don't think it would be 85 pages because a lot of that too was routes and like just other data that was in there, but
correct. That's what I'm saying. Like,
The-
we would never turn the 85.
no.
If we take, if Andrew could highlight everything that he thinks he would roll into the contract,
Right.
we would see that. And then now I know we say everything, regarding the buses, we all believe is, the big yellow bus, but what Tony was mentioning, you know, with the wages, the van drivers, I believe, aren't unionized, so.
I don't know that for sure, but I would think so. They're part of Ocean State.
I believe
How
that,
do you have-
I believe they may be two different entities. That's why they have a yard for the minivans, a yard for the school buses. I believe they're not unionized, so. I
So
think
we can keep the minimum wage, but I can't answer that. I'm not really sure.
if we can research that, that'd be great. So, so the question I have, is this, I even hate to use this word, time sensitive? Could we push this RFP vote into next meeting and then have Andrew, you know, follow up with some of these? And if you could follow up if they unionize or resist?
So I can send that out. I would prefer that we didn't push it in because that, I mean, it's not, I don't think that's going to change the contract, whether they're unionized or not. And we don't really have a say on, we don't even know which bus company we're going to have after this. But I mean, if it makes you comfortable, then we can put the minimum wage clause in there and that protects anyone that isn't union. But until we have someone bid on it,
Yes.
then we wouldn't do a contract.
No, because I agree with that there, because if there is, I think right now with the company we're using, they would just roll into this. But if we get a new company, they would have to, you know, really gear up for this. So they got to purchase new buses and stuff like that. So I think the sooner we do this, but as long as we can see the changes reflect, even if we vote on this tonight this way, the next meeting, if we can see what Andrew would add to it and just keep the ball rolling, because I'm in agreement with that. If it is a new company, we don't want to hit them at the last minute and nobody wants to apply for it because they don't get time to gear up for it. So I think we'll be all right with that. Thank you.
And just to ask, through the chair, sorry, if we could also deal with this in the contract, when, you know, some of my concerns specifically, so we can vote on it tonight to send out the RFP, and then if we have concerns, then we can address those with the specific contract.
All right,
Correct.
so you don't want,
No,
well,
I'd like to have it in there, but even if we
let us
don't-
just add it
Yeah.
before we
yeah, that was
send it
gonna be
out.
My question.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Save me some talk time. Go ahead, Ryan.
Thank you. Just a quick question. Page 22, top of the page. Bullet is cameras. Reading it off, it says, all existing school buses will be equipped with a double camera digital video system. Any new buses purchased during the time of the contract, including option year, shall be equipped with a three camera system. If that's the case, wouldn't that negate the need for going out to a private company?
I believe that's internal cameras. I don't,
So it all depends. So that one of the suggestions I had made in that email was to add a second item, like line item where they could provide a quote, a bid with them providing the internal, providing the camera. Actually, the RFP says that our district's going to be responsible for the stop arm, but we can ask them to quote us if they provide the internals or if they don't. And if we go with whatever vendor, then
Gotcha.
they may cover the cost of that generally.
and there are vendors for the mast arms that do provide internal cameras at no cost.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the RFP.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next item.
Consider a vote to approve certified staff layoffs.
I will entertain a motion.
Through the chair, I just want to confirm that none of these layoffs will impact class size or student services.
So we have 8 layoffs on the list. 3 are enrollment, so we have 1K. So now next year we'll have 1-1. A couple are because of a lot of what happens is people fill those positions after we start the school year or right before, so the membership never got to bid on it. So there's one that's an issue like that. So I'm just looking at the others. So there's no, other than the enrollment issue, there's no new cuts to programs. And the one thing that happens too sometimes with layoffs, so let's say that first grade teacher at one of the schools where there's only 1K, that person gets displaced. If that person has more than one certification, we have to lay off someone for each of those certifications. So even though there's one person, we may be laying off 2 for that one spot, so that when they go to the job placement, they have choices as to what they can bid into. You know, my hope is that we will call everyone back, and hopefully our goal is to get everybody back. I can never guarantee that, but our goal would be to get everybody back before the end of the school year. Our plan, if layoffs go through tonight, is to do the first round of job postings no later than Monday. And then that way we could have interviews and get that first round filled. And then whatever is open that doesn't go out, we would be able to start calling people back.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the certified staff layoffs.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
The ayes have it. Next item.
Sorry. Consider a vote to approve employee assistant program agreement.
So this was in your packets last week, but it needs to be a vote because it's a change of the contract. So the trust used to work with All One health provider. The trust is no longer working with them, so they've switched to the one you have in your packet. It's actually a cost savings to the district with the trust going back to this one. And we believe it'll better serve our employees. So that they provide mental health support, they provide referrals to childcare programs, or different incentives around that, and help with any type of health issues.
Were the employees notified of the change?
They will be if the change is made. You have to vote on the new.
They all know if we make.
Yeah, so we really do a lot of work trying to get it out to employees because this is a free service to them. And it's mental health referrals. It's, there's just a lot of services that our employees can take advantage of if they need it. So as soon as, it's voted on, and we'll send out information about the new program and how they can access it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
Dr. Ferren, this is a cost that the district pays, not the employee.
The district pays.
Any other questions?
I just have one. This doesn't have to go out because it's on like a state approved vendor?
Yeah, it's through the trust.
I will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next item. Oh, announcements. So an announcement I will share for the few people here and watching at home. Starting Monday, the parking lot next to the senior center will no longer be available for student parking, as well as that side street. I think is it Pyatt Ave, I believe. I think that's the name of it. Is that the name of it, Tony? Pyatt? Yeah. That's no longer going to be available for student parking. And also, there will be no parking in the senior center parking lot for students. So I know that our notice was sent out, And this is just another way to remind everybody that starting Monday, that parking lot will not be available for student parking. Does anyone else have any announcements?
Just to follow up on that statement.
Yeah.
Can we just make sure that we kind of I'm sorry. Can we just kind of monitor that for the next few weeks? Because that was an issue that parking lot was for overflow when we started the high school. That's what that was all put. So we should have had addressed this back in the day, but it's great that we're addressing it now. If we could just monitor it and see that we can give them residents some peace and quiet over there.
Yeah, so that is not authorized student parking anymore. Like we use Agawam, and we've been communicating that since the beginning of the year. If you don't have a parking spot, that you would park at Agawam. We have a bus that picks up, I believe it's 7:05 or 7:05. Is that right?
We did
Yeah, since the
manage
beginning.
this prior to the school opening. That there's one of our school buses picks up kids at Agawam who park their car there and pick them up and bring them to the high school and then bring them back after school.
We've also opened up a few more spots on campus
Mr.
down near
has
the
sent many
CTC.
messages to the parents of high school students that they are not allowed to park at the senior center starting from the beginning of the year.
And does anybody know if we pay for that bus to pick these kids up?
It's part of a route.
It's our route.
It's just part of the route. It's coming from Rumford, I believe, and it stops at Agawam as one of its stops, and it just picks up anyone that leaves their car there and then drops off on the way back.
And that's because the parking lot's not big enough for our students.
We have, I don't know, I think as the year wears on, you start to get more and more students that get their license.
Yeah.
So no, we can't accommodate all of the students.
Am I correct that parking at the school is a privilege?
It is a
So some students may lose that privilege because of many things as well. So then they park at Agawam.
Yep, and we've also recently opened up some additional parking spots, like I said. So,
All right,
But-
Tony, those signs are coming down too, by the way.
I'm gonna leave this at this that my parents both passed away when I was younger, but I'd be a little hard pressed to say that if I'm paying part of the $200 million for this campus, that my son, it's a privilege to park here. I just have hard times. I know I'm
Well, I
getting
think it's the
older.
same. I think it's the same thing with sports and musicals and stuff like that. If we all pay tax dollars to go to the school, but if you're not doing appropriate things, then you may lose that privilege.
All right.
Yeah, so like I was saying, those signs are going to come down. Hopefully, if they're not down already today, they should be down tomorrow. That's my hope, and I will follow up on that.
I'm just stuck on this a little bit. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I understand.
With that,
Yeah.
Cindy, students have lost privileges, the right to park here? Oh.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I didn't know if somebody was monitoring that. All right, so
For the high
hopefully
school staff would be not, but they get their parking passes at the beginning of the year by lottery,
Yes.
right? And then as students get their licenses, if there's still additional parking spots in the student lot available, then they're added in. But now we're in April, and more and more students have got their license over the year. So
So it's a lottery. I hate to take any time on this, but like I said, I have an excellent memory. Can you just give me a rundown on how the lottery goes? Just because you remember when we first did this, when we had the very limited, we actually pulled somebody from the audience. Somebody enlighten me how this lottery works? Is it like Jimmy in the back room that's got a list of 20 people? I just say what's on my mind.
I can't, I'm not there for the lottery at the high school. I mean, there's close to I think there's close to 200 spots right now, just under. I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to give misinformation. And like I said, they've asked us, they're going to take some more spots down in front of our building, but down closer to the track side. So we're numbering some more spots, so we'll have additional student parking available.
All right, just
Thank you.
If you could just enlighten me on how this lottery works. I'm very concerned about that. All right, like do they just randomly do it on a computer and pick out 200 spots or something, or somebody? That's what I'm saying. Or does
Yeah,
somebody look at a list? I want to know how it's done. I can't get. If that's disrespectful, I apologize.
Oh, I can't answer it for you right now. I'm not there, but I'm happy to get you an answer.
We're not
Yeah.
gonna do this.
I'm just,
I'm just-
If you can get the information.
No, I'm
then-
saying
just
I'm
asking
getting,
the question, that's
No,
all
I
we're
know.
doing.
yeah,
I know,
and I'm
but
just responding that I'll get it
get
for
a
you.
little elevated,
Yep.
so we're not.
No,
Well,
we're
when I
not
get
elevated.
when I get elevated, you'll know I get elevated.
All right, well,
Trust me.
this wasn't even an agenda item. I just wanted to make an announcement that the lot was no longer going to be available starting on Monday, and the signage will be taken down. Does anyone else have any other announcements?
Through the chair,
Yes.
I apologize for being late, but I just would like to thank Sharon Corsi for Administrative Assistance Week for being ours and appreciate you very much. You're welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you for all you do.
Can I just make one announcement?
Yeah.
So as you've probably seen through social media and Parent Square, all of our schools are announcing their school-based teacher of the year. The district, there'll be a ceremony for them on Tuesday, the 13th, 4 o'clock at the high school in the student commons that everyone's invited to. And at that time, the district teacher of the year will be announced. And that person will go forward to RIDE.
Thank you.
Can you send something, just a reminder? Oh, did you already?
Get the invitation?
I think
I think we,
did, yeah.
we'll send another. I can send something.
If there are no other announcements, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any